No, I just, the first year I just kind of laid low and took it easy and I kind of checked things out. And the green person in me took my flute and I read the back of my albums. Am I dating myself? Yeah, because I'm old. And I, got the addresses of all of the places and I went to Motown, Capitol, and, all of the places. And I knocked on the door and they said, do you have an appointment? No. You can't come in. And invariably somebody would just go, hey, I'm opening the door, you can come on in. And so I really did get into those places without an invitation or reservation or whatever you call it. So I decided that I looked up the Music Connection and different music magazines and such and answered an ad for a 3-girl group doing the Marvelettes. And I thought, wow, I don't know that I can sing, but I don't know, I sing okay to myself, I'm thinking this. And got the part. And so that just catapulted me into singing with groups. On stage, the first time I was on stage, I was never nervous. And I thought, well, maybe there's something in this. So I don't know. I just kept going and ended up getting auditions with other people and major artists and such. And I figured, well, shoot, I must have something. And it just, something that can compete in this industry.
Yeah, it's like what you've been talking about, even though you said that your creative process is a little spontaneous, like from what you're saying, there's a lot of persistence and hard work that you're talking about, as well as like the foresight to be adaptable to certain things. And I guess that leads me into like my next question about like what habits or practices have you developed to stay balanced in this career?
You know that old thing that they say, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. For whatever that call is for, having your resume always updated, and having your reel for whatever it is that you want to do, have it ready, just have it there because you never know when you might get that call. Staying, practicing your craft, staying up and up with it, because it's a huge competition out there. And at the end of the day, as they say, that's a competition, but it's not a competition. It's almost like a competition with yourself. Yeah. It's like, you show up, and if it's meant for you, you will get it. I try not to trip out about, oh, wow, I'm going on this audition and I have to compete against somebody. I don't think so. I think that, for whatever that part is for, if I'm meant for it, then I'll get it. And if I don't, oh, well, I won't get it. And so I think just staying up and not beating myself up about stuff, just showing up and being my best person in that moment is all I can do. Yeah. And,
I think it's a really healthy mindset to have, I think, in this industry, because I feel like you were saying, like, it's a competition, but it's not a competition. It's really about trying to be your best self in this thing. And I think that's a really healthy, positive way to look at the industry. I'm wondering if you always had that outlook, or did you start out with more doubts or fears in the career? If so, can you elaborate on that?
Innately, again, I think we can only be the root of who we are. It is what it is. And I can't say that I came in the game looking to be somebody that I wasn't, because I always felt like I am who I am, and I'm not the best at this, I'm not the best at that, I am who I am. So I'm going to bring my best to the game. Mm-hmm. And I think I've always had that mindset about this industry. because it's such a powerful beast. It can really squash you if you get out there going, man, I wish I was like her, or I wish I sounded like her, I wish I looked like her, or I wish I whatever.
Yeah.
You can only be to me, this is how I feel about it. Be who you are and enhance it, knock that out of the park. And I don't think I ever really thought about, or came in the game hoping and wishing that I was somebody else or something else. I just kind of thought, well, let me see what I can do to be my best person in this game.
What have you accomplished in your career that you're most proud of?
I think that I feel as though I did what I wanted to do as a musician. That I aspired to use music as my vehicle to earn a living and to to be happy with. It's almost like a life partner that that I decided it's you and me, babe, and we made a good little living with it. I think I'm proud of that I made my own living doing what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And there've been some some chapters where I felt like I jumped and fell on my ankle. It's like, oh, this sucked. I'll get up and do better. I learned that lesson. And there've been some moments that have soared, and I just felt like, wow, that was great.
I guess I have a question, because you said that music is innate to you, and you there is no what motivation, you'll always be doing music. How much of your creative process depends on an audience? And do you feel like you would be practicing music regardless of people's approval or even seeing it?
Basically validation. How much validation do you need for your process to move forward, I suppose. I don't know that I need to have validation. It's nice because when you're creating, you want to know that, how do you feel about that? You want to bounce it off of the universe, if you will, to see what she thinks, what she feels about it. It's probably like a little bit of both. Like, I think that's where you're balancing, well, my balance is anyways. I think it's natural, I think, to feel that you're edifying or somebody, it's feeding somebody some sort of way, whatever it is that your creative process is. If it's doing something to make somebody feel some sort of way that is edifying for them, then of course I think that would be a good thing. On the other end of things, you gotta create, you gotta, I think it's a little bit of both. It's both. It's I would never say, oh my goodness, I could care less of what somebody thinks about my art or my performances or whatever it is that I do musically, because I do care. At the same time, if I didn't have that, I would still need to create. I would still need that. One doesn't seem I think they both go hand in hand.
Where you were saying that you have enough great experiences to write a book. If you're wanting to share a cool experience you had on the road or performing, I'd love to hear it.
I'll tell you a gig story real quick. I sang background with Ray Charles, right? Raylettes. and we're on stage. Probably one of my first, maybe first or second, third gig. It was the very beginning, and we're on some old house, some famous old jazz club or something. And I wish I could remember where. But my point is that the stage was really old. It was a wooden stage, and it had those little cracks in the slats and stuff. And we had on high. We were, when it was time to sing, you step up to the mic. And this particular song was I Can't Stop Loving You. So we stand back, and he's playing his thing, and he goes, and until then, and the Raylettes are supposed to step up and go, I can't stop loving you. And so I went to step up, and my high heel was stuck in the freaking crack of the stage. So I thought, what am I going to do? And I kind of nudged the main, lead Raylette, and I said, Stella, my shoe is stuck in the stage. Stop. She goes, step out of it. So I stepped out of that shoe and stayed on my tippy toes and stepped up, and I hit my note. But I never, ever, ever will forget that. It was one of the scariest things. And it just, when you're green like that, you're thinking, what do I do? Do I just stay back here? Because I can't, I can't make it to the mic. Hello, common sense test, step out of it. So I don't know. You do what you gotta do. The stuff you think about when you've been in the game for as long as I have. I would be telling somebody else that, some 21-year-old kid that step out of it. What do you think?